Hi, it's Rachel. Someone had asked a question about tithing, so I want to share with you what I've learned. Tithing, as you learn of it in the Bible, it served its purpose. It has served its purpose. But when Jesus Christ came, what he was teaching us was something much more deeper and much more powerful. And that's what I want to share with you. And that is often what he did with the rules or laws or whatever they were of the Old Testament. He often took them in a little bit different direction and much deeper. And that's what I've learned in terms of tithing in this area. So, what what we are now is God's temple. God's temple, his dwelling place, is to be with us. That means our lives, our reality, is where he dwells or where he can dwell, where he wants to dwell, if we will come in line, in harmony with his love. So when we love God with all our mind, heart, soul, strength, and love others as ourself, this will tell you exactly what God desires now with our resources. So whether it be money or time or talents or gifts or affections for different groups of people, children, animals, just the elderly, the disabled, there's so many different areas where we can help and fulfill needs. And people are drawn to different things for different reasons, because that way everything gets spread out. If everyone's following that giving heart in serving, because we're here to serve. For when you start having the divine love of God, all it wants to do is pour out in all those different areas as we're given the ability to, the opportunity to, as it comes across our path. So it's much more of a dynamic and following the leading of God's Spirit in your life about where you give and what you do and how you spend those resources. So in an important mindset is that often what happens is people have this sense that they want to gather to themselves. But when you start walking in the love of God, you start wanting to give out, because as you are operating from his wisdom and his truth and his love, then you will always have what you need. And as you operate out of that and let all your actions pour from that place of that divine love, of that truth, of that wisdom, of his ways of doing things, then it's flowing out to others in the perfect way that we're intended to, where depending on who we are and where we live and the opportunities that we have and the people that we're around, we're all different in that. So that's why it's an amazing opportunity and so far superior to the static shadow that you see in the Old Testament of giving, is that when you come into the Spirit of God, is that everything about your life is giving, and you're always receiving from God, and he's always providing for you. Because when you put the kingdom first, everything is added to you. And that's what it means. So this brings in an ability, when you have this mindset where you have your resources, whatever they may be. And remember, we all have the most important one, which is the ability to choose to love someone with the love of God, to really love them. So that is something that we can always give. And whatever material ways that is added upon that and flows through that, which it often does, because you desire to help, you desire to care for them, then that's what flows. But the most important is that love, and that is something, no matter how much little or much we have, that's something that we all have. So it starts there. That's why those 2 commandments truly can guide you in every area of your life. So if you have something and someone's in need, what would you, if you were that person in need, what would you want them to do? You would share, whatever it is. So that commandment to love others as yourself is certainly guide you in this area. So it can be such a blessing, because once you start letting that love pour out in whatever way that affects your material surroundings, your time, your money, your influence, anything that it may be, that's just a very powerful way to live. And that's truly what God desires from us. And that's what you see when you look into deep and are taught by the Spirit of Christ. That's what you learn. It's a serving of others. It's a helping. It's not about some limit or defined rule. It's being able to move by the Spirit of God in whichever way as the needs come across your path and you're able to help. So it's a much more consuming, beautiful, real, and powerful way to live.